Welcome to this afternoon's meeting. My name is George Kenny. I'm the chair of the Waynesville Public Art Commission. And this is the commission up here. We also have Teresa Pennington and Alex McKay, who will be consulting with us on this project. You're at a very exciting point in this process because we are down to the 4 finalists for a selection for the mural that we're going to install on Main Street. This started with a nationwide advertisement for artists, and we narrowed that to 15 artists who met the qualifications that we were looking for. From that, we narrowed it to 7 artists, and now we're down to the 4 artists that will be presenting today. 2 of our artists are here in person, and 2 will be presenting on Zoom. We have artists from North Carolina, South Carolina, New York, and Ottawa, Canada. I want to mention that all of the funds for this project come from private donations or from grants. And when we do our unveiling ceremony, tentatively in May, then we'll be thanking all those people. But there are a number of grants and a number of private donors that are involved in funding this. Today, we'd like you to make sure and fill out a form with your thoughts about the presentations. And I'm going to ask the committee to do that as well. And that becomes the foundation for our discussion tomorrow, where we're meeting at 1 o'clock, and the committee will select the artists to do this project. And we'll take all of those comments and thoughts into account when we have our deliberations. So that's important. If you would please fill those out for us. There will be, as I said, committee, make sure and fill yours out as well. There's no citizen comment today. Today is about 4 presentations and public feedback. So with that said, it's my privilege to introduce our first artist, Adam Schrimner.
And is there would it be on the screen or?
Yeah, just if you don't mind to pull it out. Thank you.
I didn't know if you wanted to introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry.
You got a clicker right there though. Control this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. My name is Adam Schrimmer, the owner of Blank Canvas. It's a South Carolina-based mural. We started going on 11 years ago. On the back end of a community-based project where it was the first time that I had the opportunity to engage with and paint alongside community members in Greenville, where I live. I'd never done a project like that before, although I'd painted murals before. The experience of engaging with community and learning alongside them to create the content for the mural was sort of the trajectory that landed me here with you all today. Learning about places and specifically small communities where I've not had a chance to visit, and kind of engaging with community and learning about what it's like to be there is really important to me, and an aspect of the work that we take kind of seriously. So as I begin to forward the concept, we had a bunch of snow in the last couple of weeks and didn't have a chance to come up to Waynesville. So would love the opportunity to come back and visit again in the future. Waynesville, we learned a lot about one individual city during this time. In that time, through research online, historical images of Waynesville, as well as Alex mentioned conversation. Did use this expression, but I think the process of lasted throughout all this time. And he mentioned the concept of smart like it is, or coming here access to it without overcrowding with cars and things like that. This slide here is the first concept that we came up with, or that I came up with for the project. It spans the full length of the wall. It shows a variety of historical structures that were in and around, some are still here, in the Waynesville area. There's a mill in there that was not here, but when the communities merged, visit. Not exactly sure of all the dates of all the buildings. Be clear when I say that if they are not accurate to the time of the 1930s, that I could absolutely switch one. The color palette was based off of 1930s era exterior building colors and should feel historic. Obviously, they could be adjusted. And I use the arch flag to kind of denote the sort of what I viewed as patriotic feelings of the Waynesville community. That's the narrative. Some of the images that I used for reference about it. The second concept is similar in layout, different in tone. That was done last year. Something I served on the Public Arts Commission 9 years, and I tried to think of Waynesville as a whole public art space versus just one wall, and tried to create an image that fit, in my opinion, closer to the first time around. The image in the top right, the welder, because there was lots of information online about the construction of the original sign back in the 1930s, how it was built, welding and metal. There's an old inn in the background and a snapshot. And is historical based on 1930.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Do you mind if I adjust your microphone just a little bit?
Sorry.
You have to move closer. It's got a weird space up here. Do you
Yeah.
mind speaking now?
Sure. Sorry.
Is that better?
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, no problem. Sorry. All right. Anyway, so it's just the iron worker, and then again the flag in the background, just for the patriotic feelings of the area. That's the narrative describing sort of what I just walked through, and then I would give some examples of some previous work that we've done. This is at our renewable water facility in Greenville, and some detailed shots. This is a postcard in Traveler's Rest, and just on the printouts in front of you here. And that is here, but something that I would want to make sure that everyone has is we provide most potential work opportunities, this idea of concept versus a final outcome of paintings. Here's an example of what Renewable Water received as their concept for approval. And you can see underneath, as well as in the detailed shots, of what they received. The hard part for me in talking about the work that I do is a lot of things happen in real time as I'm working, and I allow things to develop more richer, I think, on site while painting. And these give you an idea of what you're seeing in front of you, this sketch on an iPad versus what the clients received at the end. Images are close to home and more detailed. Anyway, thank you so much for opportunities. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, Adam, can I ask you, with the concepts that you have in the first couple of pages,
Yep.
are those combined into the mural, or are they this concept or that concept? Or are they just-
When you say that I provided two different ones, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
One, so I developed a concept that felt really true to how I create artwork, the first one.
Mhm.
And then I looked at the public art sort of feelings of Waynesville, the vibes I got from it, and created a second concept that I felt fit in tandem with, alongside, felt akin to some paintings that you had here currently, with color and energy. And the second concept, the one that has the welder, that really speaks to the construction of the sign, and maybe an inn from like, back in that time, that was developed more in step with that concept that I'm describing, paying attention to the nuances of what you have around the community already.
Okay.
So they're two separate concepts.
Okay.
Elements could be combined if
Okay.
you'd like, but they were designed separate.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then can I ask also, what's the process that you would use to prepare the wall that's currently there?
I was just out there. I parked right in front of it. I have questions about the rust. I just want to know what's causing the rust in between the separations of the panels. And I think whatever that is has to be addressed before anybody paint.
Okay.
It looks like there is metal stain, iron staining, rust they're probably pins or rebar that's exposed inside. It should be addressed, otherwise in 3 years or 4 years, it's going to rust again.
Right. So how would you go about
Me?
addressing that? Yeah.
Well, I would work with a contractor
Yeah.
to address it. Adam, me specifically, if hired to do the painting, would it be my responsibility to take care of the wall, the damage, or would that be done prior to painting? I guess that's a question for me.
Unfortunately, the owner of the building is not here today.
Okay. So I guess that's the question. So if in the event the owner of the building chooses to not repair it, I guess that's their right, then I suppose if selected, I would want to create a process to protect it so that the mural wasn't ruined in 2 years of icy
Right.
snow and rain.
So if there are pins,
There definitely are.
okay, that are causing a rust stain,
Yeah, they're exposed some way. Yes.
okay, is there a process by which that can be sealed?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I am not a contractor.
Yeah.
I would work with someone who is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't, not today. I wouldn't presume to tell you I know how to do it, but I would find a way. Yes.
Okay. And then my last question would be about the retaining the intensity of the color,
Yeah.
UV rays.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
So it gets a lot of shade. I don't think it's getting full sun. The way that the wall is facing, I don't think you really have. I don't think you run much of a risk. Did you find, when was that painting done? I didn't see the date on it.
It's probably been there for close to 20 years.
Right. I mean, some of those greens and blues are still green and blue. I don't think it's getting.
Uh-huh.
I
But-
can check again. But I
Okay.
can check. I mean, meaning like it probably is not getting. It's likely not. It's not at all. So then if it's north facing, then you don't have to worry about anything,
Right. But
like anything at all.
in murals that you've done in Greenville and elsewhere,
Sir.
how did you protect that from UV rays?
It depends on, depends on the direction, depends on the location. So in a place like that, it's probably not heavily trafficked. I wouldn't necessarily seal it with anything like a graffiti sealer. I don't imagine you're gonna have people that are walking down there to deface it. It look like that just from being in downtown just today. But there are all sorts all the way down to like glycerin coating used where you sort of just melt it off with warm water and put something back on. It's like a sacrificial layer or a clear coat of some sort, just to give it protection. I would say though, I don't know if the other murals have their seal or not. Sometimes it's more work than not. Because if you do seal it with something that's not easily removed and someone does deface it, you can remove the sealer before you can repair it. And I just really conscious of that.
Right.
Or deliberating.
Okay. Do other members of the commission have some questions?
I do. How would you apply the mural? Would it be directly to the surface?
Yeah.
Would you have canvas? Would you
No, I would totally paint on there, and I'm not a aerosol or spray painter.
And how long would it take you to execute it? Yeah.
So I guess my one question about, if I wanted to answer that, is as of today, let's just say, you select the artist. Are these the concepts that you're viewing as final? Or, because in the original proposal, there was an opportunity to like engage. Like there was like an opportunity, I could come and like hang out with you guys and eat lunch and you could tell me about what it's like to live here.
Yeah.
So like, if that were the case, then I would say no more than 2 weeks. If I got the opportunity and we sat and you were like, I want 20 buildings in there, it might take.
Right.
That makes sense. Like, I think
Mhm.
it's hard to answer without knowing what the final concept is,
Right.
but roughly weeks.
To answer your question, there is an opportunity to interact
Okay.
and for modifications.
Yeah,
We're-
so then,
we're
yeah.
start- We're looking for a baseline.
2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Maximum.
Okay.
Yep.
Other questions? You're never this quiet.
You asked my questions for me. Yeah. Actually, I was ready to ask him and you didn't beat me to it.
Okay, Adam, thank you very much.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. While we have a couple of extra minutes here, we are on a time schedule. We have one member of the commission, Tanya Harwood, who is participating via Zoom. We do have people that are watching this over Zoom, and it's also being recorded. So if there's anybody who is not here physically to provide input, they can email Candace by tomorrow morning at 9:00. And those comments will be included in our deliberation. So Candace's email is cpoulton@waynesvillenc.gov, and Poulton is spelled Poolton. Can I ask if we have Dominic, Annis, Christie, and Michael online? Because we can move along a little bit more quickly if we.
I've got it, Dawn.
We're here. Yeah. Hi there. Dominic and Aeneas. I don't know if you can hear us, but Dom and Aeneas are here.
And Christie and Michael? I don't think they're there yet. Okay. All right, Max. This is Max Dowdle.
As loud as possible. Is this good enough for everybody? Can you hear me? Cool. All right. Esteemed members of the Arts Commission, thank you for Waynesville today, brothers and sisters of the public. I'm so happy to be here. I got here yesterday. I got to walk around the town and really enjoy it today and yesterday. I generation North Carolina, and was raised in the Triangle and Triad area. My cousins were here in Waynesville, so I got to visit here when I was little. So it's been really cool to come back, and I've really appreciated being here. I am the director and owner of NC Public Art, and there's my clicker. We are here today for the finalist presentation. So, I've only got about 20 minutes, so I'm going to try to breeze through. Max Dowdle, that's me. I have a fine art background. I studied down in College of Charleston, then Florence, Italy, for 2 years at a classical atelier, learning old master traditions, doing gallery work, fine art work. And then in 2019, I moved on to public art, primarily murals, but I do some sculptures here and there. To date, we've done more than 200 murals across the state of North Carolina. I mainly serve North Carolina, and I've got a flagship project I've been working on as well, with my mentor, who is Dr. Larry Wheeler, the director emeritus of the North Carolina Museum of Art. Together, we cooked up this idea of Paint NC 100 murals in all 100 counties, which are murals honoring the histories, industries, people of note in each of North Carolina's 100 counties. So you see the ones in green are already completed over the last year, and the ones in yellow are on the docket for this year, including Buncombe and Watauga and Wilkes and Iredell. And I'd love to add to that list, honoring the arch. So here's just a quick overview of some of my previous projects from the last year or two, all in North Carolina. So we got Hertford, North Carolina, the Midnight Ride of Betsy Dowdy, who's North Carolina's version of Paul Revere. Lumberton here, this is Hometown Heroes, honoring luminaries from Lumberton. It's quite a large mural. That one's 45 by 100 feet long. And then this is Carborough, North Carolina, more playful one on the side of the new Drakeford Library. The Orange Blossom Special, made famous by Johnny Cash, is there in Hamlet, North Carolina. And in Morehead City, North Carolina, at the Institute of Marine Sciences for UNC. This is a wonderful piece with lots of scientific input with the community for the Marine Science Center. An awesome piece that I love doing of Billy Strayhorn, who was the songwriter for Duke Ellington, who was from Hillsborough, North Carolina, and it was right in the downtown historic area of Hillsborough. It was their first mural. And then a 100-foot-long mural at City Hall in Durham. That was my first big mural done in 2019. Uh-oh. That's okay. Gotcha. Okay. Oh. And then, quick on the trigger. Okay. And this is the most recently completed mural in Hartford, North Carolina. This is for part of the America 250 celebration. This is honoring all of the history of Hartford, which is a storied, amazing place. So I love weaving history and myths and legends and stories from all across North Carolina into these pieces. So the arch mural is right up my alley. Here are my concepts. The first concept. Right? Here we go.
Sorry. Fuck you.
Cool. What's the meeting without some pretty? Yeah, right. We need some bells and whistles. Anyway, the arch mural concept 1. So the wall is wonderful. I was out there. I love it. I love working on stucco. The issues with the wall are negligible, very easily fixed. I have history and contracting work as well, and so it's very easy to address any issues going on with that wall. This is the first concept here where you have the left-hand side, which is closest to the road, closest to where the arch is. You have an actual image of the old arch, a sepia tone image, and then you've got these postcard images marching back over this gorgeous mountain landscape, which pays homage to the piece that's already there. So gives a little nod to what's been there and what people have been living with. And these images here in the postcards can be swapped out for other images, but they're just scenes from around Waynesville, historical scenes from around Waynesville. And then the second concept is a little rendering of the time period on the left. It's a great spot for selfies. People that can stop right there, right by the where it says Waynesville, and take a shot and tweet it out and social media it up. And this is just a closer image so you can get an idea of the details there. And of course, it's all subject to change if we have some community engagement and we play around with where we might want to go with things. Community engagement is not, it is a cornerstone of my practice. I like to fold in 1 or 2 community paint days into the engaging the public, bringing out as many, I've had as many as 75 people come out and help on projects at a time. And it's a great fun paint day, even for somebody who's never painted before. They can come out there and take ownership of the mural and get their hands dirty, and they'll always remember what part of the mural they actually painted. So I would love for all the people here on the Arts Commission to come out and be a part of it as well. It's a lot of fun to just get out there and get dirty. Materials. After wall preparation, the mural is painted with Sherwin-Williams architecture grade super paint or better. All paint is applied with brush or roller. No fugitive spray media is used. Nothing's going to fade because of that. Murals are then always sealed with an anti-UV, anti-graffiti coating, double coat after that. And the timeline, this is a smaller wall for me. These murals, about this size, take between 6 to 10 days, depending on the weather. I would sort of hazard to say it'd be closer to 6 days, and we could fold in those community paintings during that time. Budget. Okay, so the proposed budget for this is extremely generous for the size and scope of this wall. It's obviously inclusive of all design iterations, any kind of community engagement, materials, labor, protective coating, all of that. I also throw in 5 years maintenance against accidental or malicious damage, and a full color, excuse me, good never being sick. Full color matrix is supplied to the stakeholders for minor touch-ups. I actually want to propose to you that I would install this mural for $25,000 instead of $35,000. That extra $10,000, we could do a fun oil painting of the mural for town hall, or we could do a second mural at a different location, or you can take that $10,000 and throw it towards your next project. But $25,000 would be more than sufficient for me for this mural. Questions, and I have answers.
I'll let you guys start this time.
Will you tell me, you were talking kind of quickly.
I know, sorry. I want to save your time.
That's okay. Where did you say you're from?
So I live outside Durham right now, but I work all
Durham.
over the state. Yeah, so I was actually born in Greensboro and grew up in Winston-Salem and in Meat Camp outside Boone and in Fayetteville, all over the place.
Right, right. But you lived in Florence for 2 years?
Yes, I did. Yes.
So jealous.
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous of my past self. I want to go back. So,
Thanks.
yeah, absolutely.
With your projects, I noticed that you bring in a human element, like the figures as well
Yes.
as the edifices. And do you do that in most of your work, or it just depends on what the project is?
Yeah, so I love working with silhouettes because I think people can see themselves in silhouettes really easily.
Right.
With this specific one, there are some figures in that leftmost panel. They're smaller and more discrete in either the sepia image or the more sort of fanciful rendering. But I'd certainly be open to playing around with bringing some silhouettes into the larger piece as well, and or incorporating that in there. I love working with human form for sure.
Can we go back
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the shot where,
I was just gonna ask that.
yeah,
The comparison.
just to leave it
Yeah.
up there while we're talking.
Can I turn it back on, or does?
Jesse?
Yeah.
Are you using photographs of the people that are in your mural?
Yes, like for when I do like for this Lumberton piece here, when I have actual portraits that I'm working on, then yes, photographs for those people. Silhouettes, I just freehand. Yes. Yeah. And that was my training in Florence, was doing oil portraiture. Basically, I did many years of oil portraiture commissions. And so I have a very broad toolbox when it comes to what I like to pick out for my projects, whether it's going more in the direction of portraiture and more realism, or going in a more graphic direction with silhouettes. So yeah, so there's some in the leftmost panel. But yeah, playing around with silhouettes in there would be a lot of fun for sure. Yeah.
Teresa?
Yes.
Yes, so in some of the conversations that we had about the mural, we talked about having an oval image that has a picture of the man who actually manufactured the sign.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure. And we could certainly fit that into, I could see a lot of places where that would work. Just shifting elements around. I mean, this is all in the digital space right now. It's so easy to move things around and play with it. And I love the design side of things, and the going back and forth and working with a group of stakeholders or the public at large and determining what is the right way to thread that needle to make everybody happy is the most fun part for me. The paint is just follow through. That's sort of like once we're done with the design, the paint's just the sort of like gratifying follow through after that.
And how do you feel about having something in a lower corner somewhere that lists the names of the people who gave money?
Certainly, yes. In fact, that Orange Blossom Special mural, there's a little bump out on the left where I have that. We incorporated an element of, it's kind of hard to see, but on the lower right-hand side, there's a little stoop, and that has all of the donors on it right there. Yep. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's that little tiny stoop on the right. Yeah, it has all the donors listed on it. So I'm certainly fine with that, of course. Absolutely.
Next, looking at your work, I think what we would, certainly we'd have a listening session about, key components in this.
Yeah.
It seems like the approach you used in Hartford.
Yeah.
In the Hartford mural.
Yeah.
Would be very in line with the kind of style that I think we're looking
Sure.
for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit more about the ceiling and so on? And I hate the thought of graffiti,
Right.
but
Of course.
graffiti's
Yeah.
always a possibility.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
tell me how we would deal with that.
Yeah, so I have to date not had anybody mess with the mural, which is great, but there's always a first that could happen, which is why I always take precautions. And the paint it's like bomb proof because it's architecture grade, it's rated for outside, it's really hardy stuff. If anybody's ever worked with the Sherwin-Williams line of exterior paint, it's great. And so that's easy enough to fix, especially because I use a lot of bold colors and I use paint almost always directly straight out of the can. So there's not a lot of mixing that happens, which makes it easy for touch-ups. But all that of coating it's a Graphics WB, which is which gets 2 coats, goes on. And also just it's anti-UV, anti-graffiti. There is UV bounce light, even though it's north facing. So over time, it could possibly fade. But it also gives it a satin sheen and gives it a sort of finished sealed quality, which I really appreciate and I think looks really good. So that's just rolled on.
Right. So when you say sacrificial coating, does that mean that if there's graffiti, you kind of sand it off? Or-
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes you can do a light pressure washing even, and that'll take it. Sometimes you use a solvent. Sometimes it can be sanded. Exactly. It just depends on what the substrate is, the surface is that. So, you know, we've got stucco out there, which I think it'd be case by case, depending on. But you know, people use all sorts of things, paint markers, stuff like that.
And then here's a trick question.
Yeah, sure.
In your research about Waynesville,
Yeah.
what are a couple of things that you've come across that you think are unique to this town?
I love that Waynesville is known as the gateway to the Smoky Mountains. The Smoky Mountains are always like a magical, mystical place to me when I was growing up. Knowing that in the western part of the state, there were like the great Smoky Mountains. When I was a kid, that was like full of mystery. And so Waynesville, even at that time to me, was the gateway to this area that was almost like Narnia or Lord of the Rings or something like that, you know. So it still has that sort of air of mystery to me, which I'd love to try to capture in, you know, a beautiful piece of artwork. Absolutely. Yeah.
On the one picture you had up here with the state of North Carolina, you had a lot of upcoming projects.
Yes.
Is there a concern? I don't know where it was. It
Yeah.
looked like there were quite a few.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Is there a concern about a timeline, you know, because spring, summer, you
Sure,
know, get
yeah.
them all done?
I work fairly quickly. I mean, even that largest one in Lumberton, which is the biggest mural I've done to date, which is 100 by 45, 50 feet, that took me 9 days. So I'm pretty busy throughout the year, week to week. I work all the way up until, you know, my fingers freeze in the winter. And and I'll be down in Southport next week,
So the
starting
10
up
that
down
you
there.
have upcoming, do you have those scheduled dates?
Yes. So about 6 of them, we have hard dates, and the other ones are design, that kind of stuff.
And are you aware of our?
Well, some of it's grant. Begin the mural by the second week of April.
Okay. Yeah.
It's more the deadline that's concerned, which is by next fiscal year.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, you
Well,
should be
this
good.
gives us plans.
Okay,
Like,
that's
yeah,
what-
it's
that's what I was
yeah,
wondering.
yeah.
Ideally, we're hoping
Okay.
April that it's complete, and then
Yeah.
the early May. we're in some sort of-
April's very doable for me right now. So yeah, the only thing I have coming up in that window is the PAC Memorial Library in Asheville downtown. But they're really fluid with you know, they're happy to work with my schedule. So
With an estimated
Yes.
6 days
Yeah.
from you to finish the project, how does the public paint day
yeah,
fit into that?
sure. So in the early part of the process, I would have that be over a weekend. So kids could come in, anybody of any age could come in. And I usually schedule it for 2.5-hour slots. And, you know, 20 people can sign up, or we can figure out exactly how to do the mechanics of that, because it's sort of different from town to town. But usually Saturday and Sunday, have people come in. You know, even if things get messed up, it's just paint. It's easy to fix. So yeah.
I'd like to add too that what's right next door is a bank. So
Right.
weekend community day is even better.
Yeah. I noticed that there's potential traffic coming through there, so we definitely wouldn't want that to be an issue.
Yeah, and we have already talked with the bank.
Okay.
They would close off that full
Right.
lane.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there's not going to need to be a big lift there or anything like that. So, you know, 6 feet is enough room to.
Yeah.
You know.
And then out of curiosity, do you do this by yourself or do you have other people that are assisting you?
Yes, so it's primarily me working across the state. I do usually take on an assistant in different communities. If there's somebody the Arts Council says, hey, this person wants to learn to do murals, I'll do sort of a mentor-mentee kind of program as well as I go along, which has been great for helping to engage new muralists, new artists, and help them get their careers started. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
What about fading?
What was that?
It seems that your work has a great deal of photography or appearance.
Yeah.
What is your warranty against fading of the image?
What is my origin against? Fading. I'm sorry. Yes. So I've been painting murals since 2019. That one in Hillsborough, which is a Billy Strayhorn, I can hold a paint strip up to it, and it's just bright and fresh. It's got the anti-UV coating, and I've so far not had any issues with fading. It's not spray media, and it's all rolled on and brushed on, and it's getting multiple coats, which just gives it a real dynamic big quality. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Dominic, are you out there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, just unmuting the mic. Hi, everybody. We're just gonna Where's our video here?
Dominic, would you introduce the two of you, please? I can't pronounce the names.
Yeah, one moment. We're just going to start the video. There we go. There you go. Oh. Sorry, there you go. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Everyone can see us?
Yeah, my name is Dominic Laporte.
I'm Anaïs Lamrec.
Are we good just to start our presentation?
I made you a co-host. Can you share your screen?
Yes.
This always
Sorry.
this never goes smoothly, so take your time.
Sorry. So just share screen.
If you share your screen, I'll make sure that it's up here.
Let's go right to the first slide there. Start.
1 second.
Can you, is it working?
Yep.
Yes. Sorry, we can't hear anybody right now.
Can you hear?
The
Can you hear
sound
me?
has been in and out.
We
for
can't
us.
hear the sound very well from the room itself. I don't know if you can hear us, if we can get a little,
We can hear you. Can you hear me?
okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Nobody was really talking. So can somebody test the sound from the dais, George?
Yes, testing 1, 2. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear
Hear
you.
you, but it's a little low. But yeah, we can hear you. That's fine.
For questions, we couldn't hear very well, just to give you a heads up, but we can.
Folks, just
there.
lean into the mics if you have a
Okay.
question. Some of those mics up there are pointed away from people, and so you may need to
Okay.
lean into them.
Okay.
So you can see our screen, and we're good to go.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So hi there. My name is Dominic Laporte. I'm the co-founder and lead artist at Drift Mural Co. I've been painting murals for around 12 years. Painting professionally for over 20. Painted around 120 murals internationally, Canada, United States, some in Europe and Asia as well.
A couple in North Carolina as well. And
Yeah, two in North Carolina so far.
yeah, and I'm Anaïs, so I'm the project manager for Drift. So I handle more of the behind the scenes work, some logistical stuff, and I assist in the painting for most of the murals as well. Here's the logo, and I'm just gonna share some of our past work so you can look at it while we kind of talk about what we do in general.
Yeah, so as a mural team that works internationally, our goal is to create public art that deepens people's connections to the places they live, using layered imagery and research-driven storytelling to reflect our shared environments, our histories, and local identities. So as you can see, our visual language is very bold. It's layered. It's built through the accumulation of imagery and photo reference, and we use a lot of transparency and shifts in opacity, gestural details, and a very vibrant color palette that creates depth and movement. Each composition is carefully structured, offering immediate impact from a distance, and also those moments of discovery up close. So, you know, the closer you get to the mural, you're kind of revealing a few more details, and our work is very interactive in that way.
And now I'm just going to share an overview of the concept right away, get to the good stuff. We'll zoom in a little bit in a minute, but I just wanted you to see the overall design right away. And we've given it just a title placement for now, Gateway Gathered. We actually think that a title is a good way to get the community involved as well. So this could be like a public vote, or we can get some community input. This is kind of just, yeah, taking a place for now, but this is a really great way to get kind of a community involved and really give a sense of ownership to the public as well.
And just wanted to include a simple palette block for you, just to kind of show the general colors that we'll be using. So as per the RFP, the palette is meant to evoke, you know, a rich vintage feel, kind of using those sepia tones, but we wanted to make it a little warmer. You know, bring it into kind of the modern age. And this vintage style is kind of meant to indicate the strong local values that are that have been present over generation in Waynesville. And we've also included this sweeping blue shape that is meant to kind of connect the past and the present, reference to local waterways, and also help you move your eye throughout the length of the piece. So it's kind of a technical addition there.
Now we're going to zoom in to the left side of the mural.
Okay, so Yeah, so the left side here, this will be the side that's kind of street facing on Main Street. We wanted to make sure that the arch would be visible from the busiest standpoint. It also sits at a higher level on the wall, so it can be seen if cars are parked directly in front of the wall, as they may be. Here, the design focuses on the view of the original arch, obviously, the eras, representing the 1930s, and the signs proclaiming the town as the gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Why we're all here. The mural design is meant to capture the significance of the original arch as it kind of established local pride, and we think which ultimately helped form the identity and culture of the town. So below the sign, you'll see the center of the street, showing that in the era of the 30s as well. It's sort of a nostalgic note, but done in a modern aesthetic. So, the local identity of Appalachian True from our research is expressed through the region's arts and crafts, bluegrass music, and the Folk Moot International Music Festival. So at the center of the mural, we chose to include a bluegrass scene positioned alongside the Catawba rhododendron, a defining native flower in the Smoky High Mountains. So the band provides a kind of strong sense of dynamic vitality and cultural presence in the mural. And while the photo reference is contemporary, its spirit and symbolism are timeless, in our opinion, and well suited for a mural that is both historic yet contemporary.
And now we'll move on to the right side of the design.
Yeah, so moving into the right side, this is the side that is kind of the larger portion of the wall. So here we focus on an image of local community members, which is actually taken and gathered. The people were gathered at the building site of the new arch in 2023. So that photo is directly from that day. As you can see, we work a lot from photo reference for purposes of accuracy. Obviously, for historical projects, this is a big deal. So this is meant to capture the community's dedication to having the arch rebuilt and the effort that was given by them over the past 50 years, which we thought was a pretty incredible feat. It's also meant to show the community's strength and resilience that is obviously ever present in the community. The inclusion of local plant life throughout the mural is obviously intentional. It symbolizes community growth, reinforces the importance of protecting the surrounding wildlife and natural ecosystem, the values long embodied by the town's arch, and its message to both residents and visitors. So, overall, the imagery is meant to promote sort of an eco-conscious relationship with place and helps root the mural firmly in Waynesville through the use of this indigenous flora. So if you're wondering, and I'm sure you've recognized some of these, the floral elements were selected specifically for their local and seasonal relevance. So featured here, we have species including the mountain laurel, Catawba rhododendron, and coneflowers, which reflect the late summer to early fall season. And last but not least, we wanted to include the Great Smoky Mountains in the back, the mountain addition in the center to pay homage to the mural that sits there right now.
And to the area.
Yeah.
All right, so just going back to the full design, just to kind of show you how the design speaks to past work. So really, we do use dynamic layering, transparencies, overlapping imagery. It's kind of a blend between literal and metaphorical, like blending of time and place. So that approach really shows the forward-thinking, open to growth and change that is in Waynesville, but still like preserving its historical legacy and its true identity. And we also think that this mural speaks to Waynesville's new tagline, expression at its peak. So it's really a bold mural that is timeless. So it's rooted in place, speaks to the past, present, and future. The pops of color and kind of that blue swoop is also showing that the town is attracting and evolving and attracting really a younger generation, but really honoring the past rather than replacing it at the same time. And really from a practical standpoint, as you can see, all the layered approach that we use really allows for some feedback from the committee. So all the photos can be either shift in placement, or we can swap out some species if you think something is more relevant to the project in the community. So they're kind of, yeah, we're very adaptable with our design. And this is kind of just the starting point.
Yeah.
And then now we're just going to show you a past example. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry. Now we're going to show you the design mapped on location.
Yeah, so here we have the right side of the wall, obviously, and we just wanted to share this angle just to give you a sense of, the scale of these images once it's on the wall, and kind of, the larger than life impact some of these floral elements will have. This is our view from Main Street. So from this vantage point, you'd probably be walking on the sidewalk to kind of hit it at this eye line. So you can see it's very impactful as you take it in. And even with these warm sort of vintage sepia feeling tones, it's still kind of a contemporary feel of a historical theme. And maybe this view is probably if you were driving down Main Street and you only had a couple seconds to glimpse the mural and there was a car parked in front of that mural, you're still going to get a great glimpse of the archway and the rhododendron.
And this one's just a closer look as well if you're walking by. And as you can see on the left side there, there's a little bit of breathing room. And we thought this is a great way to incorporate either a plaque or like a QR code. So we do that with a lot of our murals. So you can have a plaque there that gives a little bit of the project background. And then the QR code can link to a lot of different options. So you can have a link to just the city's website or some local partner organizations. You can create something where you'll find local festivals, a calendar. You can have information on the history of the arch, things like that. So it's just another way to kind of get the community involved. And it's just makes it a little bit more interactive. So if someone's just walking by on their own and they're not part of like a mural tour or anything, they can just pull up their phone and then just get more of the background on the mural, really giving it some context independently. Speaking of community engagement and whatnot, we also do a lot of spray paint workshops. That's something we like to do on site. So for one of the days that we'd be painting, that's something that we'd love to do, get some of the local, either the youth or adults, whoever wants to try out spray paint. Is something that most people don't get to try it, and it's quite a special technique. So that's something that we like to offer on site as well. And then just a little design example. So this is a past design that we created for an urban greening project in an urban area, really a working class neighborhood. So we just wanted to show you just a past design. So that was the first design. And then here it is mapped on location on the wall where it was meant to be. And then this is the final painted mural. So just to kind of show you the consistency and the accuracy from design all the way to the painted mural. And this was actually used or made using pictures from the urban greening project. So all of these photos were directly reflective of the community.
All right, down to the important stuff, materials and maintenance. So we've done a lot of murals in different parts of the world. That means different climates, different winters, different summers, rain, cold, heat, everything. So we've kind of honed in on some materials that we, if we can source them, we will use them, and they're proven and they're effective. All these materials are all UV resistant. They're all long lasting exterior products. Just to give you a little breakdown of how we would paint the mural from start to finish, we would start with prepping the wall. That includes power washing, scraping any peeling paint, doing any minor restoration work, and then applying the primer. In that case, we use the Sherwin-Williams multi-purpose exterior latex primer and sealer. And then we also use a combination of acrylic and spray paint. So the acrylic we use is also same long-lasting exterior product. UV resistant is the Sherwin-Williams Latitude exterior acrylic latex. And we use spray paint. A lot of our work involves transparency and depth and movement, and a lot of this comes from the use of this incredible product called Montana 94. It's made in Spain. It has an incredible color range. It's low pressure, fast drying, also a UV resistant, long lasting product, exterior product, and it combines extremely well with the Sherwin-Williams products. And last but definitely not least, the anti-graffiti coating, which we apply to every single wall that we do, regardless if it's in an area that gets vandalized or not. I assume Waynesville isn't a big graffiti zone, but we apply it anyway. I've heard you got some bad weather down there, so weather's changing all the time. So in this case, we use the world's best graffiti coating. It is a crazy name, but it's true. It's incredible, and it's one of the few that we do use when we can source it. And if you apply this product, there is no maintenance needed. It's that good. Basically, if you walking by the wall, after a season or two and you see that there's a light grime on the wall or dirt, you can simply wipe away with a damp cloth or non-abrasive soap. And that's basically it. And if it actually gets vandalized seriously, you can power wash it and you can reapply that sealant immediately with a brush or a roller. It's extremely simple to use. And the second coat, we would apply 2 coats, but the coat that you would use as a reapplication will adhere with the original coat seamlessly. And in terms of timeline, basically, we'll just let you look at the design while we look at this. Yeah, so we predict 7 to 10 days for this project. This is also a small to medium sized wall for us. Weather permitting, of course. We've had projects in the past where we did a project in Michigan, is our largest to date. That was 27 by 300 feet, and we finished that in 18 days. So that should give you, and that's both of us working on the mural. NES doesn't always assist in painting. She may help assist in this case, but because of the size of the wall, she may not. I can usually handle these projects on my own.
Mm-hmm. And just so you know, also for the materials and whatnot, so Dom's been doing this for over 10 years. All of his murals to date are in great shape after 10 years. There's been very little restoration needed. And that's before he ever started using anti-graffiti coating. So we've only started using that in the last couple of years. And that actually extends the mural life past that. It's not a guarantee, but in general, his work has been really long lasting, just to give you a heads up on how long it can last and really remain vibrant and colorful.
Yeah, and if any actual painting touch-ups needed to be done in the future, we have connections with other local muralists in the area that could be at your disposal quicker than we may be being up here in Canada. But that's our presentation, and we'd be happy to take any questions if you have them.
Mm-hmm.
If I could start, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
As you mentioned, you're in Canada. Does that present any kind of international challenge in tariffs and so on?
No.
Nope.
Got the work visa and done a lot of work. You'll see in our portfolio. You can look on our website. We can also send you, by the way, a PDF of what we just presented. We weren't there in person, but yeah, we've done lots of work in the United States. Have had a work visa for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then my second question would be, there was some concern expressed about metal rebar or pins that there's rust from that. How would you address that?
So for any major infrastructure issues that goes beyond what we could do, I would say that would need to be addressed prior to us starting to paint. We can handle a large amount of fixing the wall, peeling paint and parging lightly and things like that. But from the photos that we were given for the project and what we can see, we don't see that being an issue. Obviously, a couple of the other artists have raised some concerns over some rust, but from what we've gathered, we are,
we did ask for close-up photos of the wall since we're not there in person. We did ask for close-ups, and from what we could see is nothing that we can't handle on our own. And if we were awarded the project, we'd be happy to send someone over to just make sure that everything is that is okay for us to handle. If there was, like he said, anything that's like major infrastructure is not up to us. You just want the wall to be in good condition. It is true that if there is a moisture issue inside of the building, that will eventually come out. but anything that's just the prep of the wall will be fine with us.
But we've done murals in the past on buildings from the 1800s, and they've stood fine with the materials we've used as well. Right now, yeah, we're very confident in regardless of the shape that the building is in, we predict a long-lasting mural.
Okay, so I think what I hear you saying is if it's just a surface or superficial, it's not an issue. But if it were rust that's a structural issue, then that's a whole different ballgame.
Correct.
That's probably something you'd want to get assessed regardless, just for
The building owner, yeah, would
regardless of the mural, you might want to get that assessed. But if it's just the exterior, that's fine.
and we have that covered. Yeah.
Other questions?
Yeah, pertaining to the world's, what did you call it, the world's best graffiti coating, you had said that if you can source it out, and I heard the if, is that a concern?
We can source that one in the States. We've done it before. Alternatively, we have another one, Vanguard, that we've used in the States that's just as good. Just doesn't have as much of a fun name to it.
and also
And we use both.
and the world's best graffiti coating, we can source it in 5-gallon pails as well. And it just it's just easier for us in that way. The Vanguard comes in a smaller container. It's not a huge.
In a 5-gallon too as well.
Is that one? Okay. Well, logistics here. She's more up to date on the products than me.
We have a couple options, but that one is available in the United States. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Question about your process and materials. Is the ratio of spray paint to the other, does that kind of differ with each project? And you were saying, and am I correct in remembering that you were saying the advantage of the spray paint component is that the ability to layer.
Yeah. So as you can see, if you a good example here is looking at the bluegrass musicians. So you can kind of see there's sort of like a translucency, like a transparent effect there, so that it's kind of metaphorically and literally layering the imagery, so to kind of bring out the concept even further. So this is definitely kind of like a key indication of our work. Spray paint is essential for us, and in the combination with acrylic as well. We use both in every single project. So we've kind of developed our style with the use of both of those. But I guess to answer your question, there have been, if we're doing an asphalt mural project in the ground, we're going to use strictly acrylic. If I'm doing something that has a very tight timeline, I only have 2 days to do it, I'm going to do it all in spray paint just so I can get through it a little faster. Spray paint has the ability of being a very versatile and quickly to use product. So in that way, we're adaptable, but we like to use both.
So I'm assuming that what you have laid out here is the baseline, and then we would have discussion about other imagery.
If need be. I mean, like this is the design that we have come up with and that we think fits the project, great. But if you think there's something specific that should be in there or something that should be taken out, that's totally
we're always open to negotiate the imagery, and that's kind of the beauty of working in the way that we do, is that the using for historical projects specifically, using accurate photo reference is interchangeable, so we can switch out different reference as need be or as you see fit,
or shift them around a little,
shift them around to fit the composition better. So we're open to that always.
Okay. Other questions? Okay, thank you for your time this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Michael and Christy, are you on the line?
Yes. Yes, we are. Good morning or good afternoon.
I'm gonna make you guys a co-host real fast.
Okay.
Christy, I've got 2 Christy McCarthy's here.
Yeah, I'm on my phone and my computer just in case one is acting wonky, but I'm gonna log out of my computer one so that you know which one I am.
All right. You should be able to share your screen now. Boom.
All right, can you see my screen okay?
We can.
Okay, so.
Well, can you maybe do this on your computer instead? That's actually perfect. Landscapes, that's
Okay.
great.
All right. Well, I'm Christy and
I'm Michael Mitchell. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes? Good.
all right. So we'll just quickly go over what we'll talk about. We're gonna show our art practice. Then we'll talk about how we came up with the design, what research we did, and then we'll go over the materials and the installation and the timeline and some logistics. Okay, so we are Michael Mitchell and Christy McCarthy, and we've been painting together for about 8 years. We are both teaching artists and founding members of the Harlem Art Collective, which is a community engaged collective in our neighborhood in New York City. And we both create our work a lot through participatory processes, and we like to collaborate with host communities, working with people of all ages. And Michael, do you want to add something about your practice?
I've been doing murals for about 40 years now. I started when I was living in Chicago for McCormick Place. They're adjacent a hotel tower, the McCormick Inn. And I've been doing murals there, here, in Pittsburgh, and in Honolulu. I lost track of how many murals there are, but I've done them in every condition, on every substrate you can imagine. Brick walls, well-prepared surfaces, not well-prepared surfaces, indoors, outdoors, you name it. I've done it.
Yes, and Michael specializes in architecture, figure drawing, and automobile design, and I'm the portrait nature side of our team. Michael and I worked on a project in Waynesville last summer, and we'll go through a few other projects that we've done, but some of you may have seen this one. This is the Pigeon Community Multicultural Development Center. And we worked on this through a participatory process. So I came and did a listening session with the community to get some feedback on a design that I had already proposed. And then the community gave a lot of information. We talked a lot about the history of the Pigeon Street School and the future that they envisioned for the school. And together we came up with this design. And me and Michael painted it together. So he focused on the architecture, the automobile. He painted the book, and then I did a lot of the portraits, the nature scenes, the landscapes. And there's a second side to this mural. So this is the other side. The side is the history of the community. So this one we really wanted to show the deep roots that the school has and the history of the neighborhood in general and of Waynesville. I can talk a little bit more about this one towards the end. Some other work that we've done, this is a mural that I did a few years ago with the New York Mural Arts Project, which is focusing on destigmatizing mental health. And this one I also did in a participatory process. So this one is on Polytab, and I painted it together with a group of people who are living with mental health diagnosis. So we did the design together, and then we painted it together on Polytab, and then I installed it onto the building.
This was a piece that we did with our group. The wall changes every 2 months or so to a different issue. And at the end of the wall, there's usually a chalkboard so that our neighbors can weigh in on how they feel about this one, for example, was Heroes of the Civil Rights Movement. One of the most popular, most energizing was about the neighborhood transitioning through the people who already live here. Gentrification brought out more people and more comments on this wall than anything else. I felt so gratified seeing people engaged, not just by the beauty of having a mural each couple of months, but saying what they think, communicating to us, to the other neighbors who may not have really thought about what's going on, what power we have to change it, to protect our homes.
Mm-hmm.
This was one that I did with for the courtroom, the Bronx Family Court. There are 3 pieces in the courtroom itself, this one behind the jury box. There are a few other paintings that I and my group, I always work with students, usually middle school, and the entire Bronx Family Court is filled with our artwork now. In addition to pieces by Picasso and Calder, they have quite a collection.
This is a mural I did in a mental health clinic in East Harlem, and I worked with the staff to come up with a design that would be soothing and calming for the waiting room. So using a very cool palette of colors that are a little muted and images of people being graceful with themselves and allowing themselves to feel what they're feeling. A lot of self-love imagery. And the lake in the background is a really important sanctuary for New Yorkers. It's the Harlem Mirror Lake in Central Park. And lastly, this is a mural I did with Help in Hospitals. And this one, I also worked with the staff to come up with a composition that would honor the history of the area. So it goes all the way back to the Lenape people, and the name of Coney Island is actually comes from the word for rabbit, because it used to be a rabbit colony. So we had to put rabbits there. And then the old building on the left side and the new building on the right, because the reason this mural was done was to commemorate this new building that they had built while still honoring the history and the legacy of the previous building. So that's just a little bit of what me and Michael have done in the past. And for this project specifically, because it's a historical mural, we wanted to do a lot of research about Waynesville and the arch itself. So we contacted your local historian, Alex McKay. He gave us some great photographs. We did a little digging on the internet, and also we pulled back what I had gotten from when I was working with the pigeon community. We had a lot of great talks with them, and they also did an oral history project called Lift Every Voice. So we were able to look through that again and revisit some of that history. And this is our design concept, the things we really wanted to pull out. Michael, do you want to go through the Art Deco section?
Yeah, you'll see in a minute that it's the period is depicted clearly in the central image of the mural, and that's the main street in sepia tone with all the details. There'll probably be more people in the foreground so that you can see that the dress is from the period, but also we've taken into account the typefaces we'll use, the deco motifs of framing certain areas, even the base. Whenever we do an outdoor mural, we generally make the base black or dark color so that the wear and tear that normally happens with an outdoor mural isn't really affecting that lower 10 inches, 12 inches of the mural. Even that is done in an art moderne style. So nothing is just a prosaic, necessary function. The center image, of course, will be where everything we've designed in the composition draws your eye to.
Yes, and we also wanted to include native flora and fauna. So these are all up for changing also, but just from our preliminary research, we chose the dogwood and the cardinal, which are the state bird and flower of North Carolina, and then the, of course, the Smoky Mountains as a landscape. So this is our preliminary design that we've come up with, and it's a collage of important landmarks, moments, and people from Waynesville history. As Michael said, the centerpiece is, of course, the arch. And this photograph, Alex McKay sent to us, this is from the motorcade in 1940 when Roosevelt came through. And the left side has a stately home, which Michael will explain a little bit more in a second. The commemorative 1933 Franklin D. Roosevelt coin, and the right side, you see a wheel, which is going through a timeline of events. And these events, of course, will be chosen by the community. We've put some placeholders there, but that's just to give an idea of what it could look like in the end. And I'm going to go through a couple more shots so we can zoom in on it. This is the view from the back side of the bank. And this is the view from the front side of the bank. So you get a beautiful landscape that brings you in to see the arch from the 1940 inauguration. And then Michael, do you want to go through some of?
Starting at the left side of the composition, first you'll notice that the colors are controlled so that the sepia tones stand out. Other images are in what might appear to be black and white with just a tint of color. In the backgrounds, the color is even more controlled. The Smoky Mountains are bluish gray. The sky is gray with a bit of a bluish tint. There's a bit of a warm sepia glow representing the sunlight on the mountains here on the left. And in the background, you'll notice a stripe. That stripe resolves itself on the other side of the framed portrait of Main Street to be a train from the era with a famous 1933 Henry Dreyfuss designed locomotive. I noticed that in a lot of representations, it's an old time steam engine, but this is of the time. Even the colors that we use, the few vivid colors, are the toned down shades that were popular in the 1930s. This blue will be carefully chosen to be that blue. The base will, in this, might look like it's black, but it's not. It's a dark, dark brown, also a very popular color from the time. The typeface that you see in the arch will be repeated in the banner. Our working title was Waynesville Welcomes You, but again, that's entirely up to you. Just as the images in the wheel of people, places, and events that are important to Waynesville, to the area around it, even to North Carolina. Again, entirely up to you. The map in the background is of the time as well. In the composition, was careful to balance hard-edged, straight lines and angles like the track that the train is on with soft curves and circles, so the feeling isn't out of balance.
Yes, so as we said, that is a preliminary design, which is completely up for change after we've had our listening session. And so I wanted to show you an example of how these changes could take effect. This is the Waynesville, or the Pigeon Community's mural. The top image is the image that I proposed, which has just from preliminary research, so no input from the community yet. And after talking with the community and meeting with the staff and the teachers at the development center, we changed a lot of the imagery towards what they wanted to reflect. So, for example, rather than having the founders of the Rosenwald School, we chose to put the teachers, who were the heartbeat of the school, on the left side. We also included photographs from the community of actual people, so the 3 children. We also included the drive-in, which was a really important site for the community. And the central image, rather than having one child with an apple as a symbol of giving the apple to the teacher, they wanted an image of intergenerational connection. So we chose an image of an older grandmother reading with her granddaughter, and the book that they're reading is the oral history project that the community participated in. So a lot of these changes could happen with this mural. Also changing out figures, adding things. We could also change the composition slightly. So if you prefer for the arch to be on the Main Street side, that could be switched around too. So our preliminary sketch is definitely just a starting point. And then just to show you how a sketch can translate to the wall, this is the sketch on top that was done digitally, and then the actual painting after we installed it onto the wall on the bottom. Okay, so nuts and bolts, the materials. We proposed to do this mural in polytab, which is the same material we used for the Pigeon Community mural. Polytab is a very durable, very flexible material. It's basically a really thin canvas, and it's then installed onto the wall using an adhesive that's industrial strength. So these are really durable. A mural made with polytab will last for about 30 years. They're very easy to clean and maintain. And it also shortens the amount of time that you have to spend at the wall, so you don't have to worry about weather. You can paint indoors. And another plus is that it allows for the community to paint as well, because they are on a lift to paint something that's on the top of the mural. So this is the community painting that we did at the Pigeon Community Multicultural Development Center. And if you remember from the sketch, the street sign is at the very top of the mural. So this way people were allowed to paint that very high up point of the mural without having to physically go up there to paint it. And it was a very fun day. We played music and had snacks. The paint that we will use is golden, which is a very high quality, high pigmented acrylic paint. And it's made to be an exterior, so it has great coverage, it dries evenly, and it's also protected against UV rays. But we will also shield and seal the mural using the same system that the previous artist mentioned. This is the mural shield system, and this will protect against UV rays, sun damage. It makes the colors a little bit more vibrant. And after the mural shield, which is the sealant, then we would protect with the anti-graffiti coating. And this is a coating that is sacrificial, which means if somebody does graffiti the wall, then you can use a solution of soap and water, remove it. It will take some of the graffiti coating off with it, but it will not damage the mural underneath. And the installation would begin with wall prep, where we would pressure wash the wall first to get it ready for the primer. Priming the wall will help protect the mural from water damage, rust, as was mentioned before. After that, we will install the mural onto the wall. It's basically like an extreme version of wallpaper, but on the outdoors. And then we will seal it. And we'll do the touch-ups before the sealing so that you can't see any of the seams. We also will work with a local artist as an installation assistant, and we did this with the Pigeon mural also. We hired 2 local artists from the nearby college. They were excellent to work with. And it was a great experience for them. They are paid for their work. The rate is $25 an hour. And this gives them professional development because polytab is a really up and coming technique that a lot of artists and a lot of clients are asking for. And it's something they can add to their portfolio and network with local artists and with, international artists as well, with me and Michael. And the timeline, we are aware the grant has a tight timeline. So our proposal would be to install this the first 2 weeks of April. So then in March, we would do beginning of March, we could do the listening session. In the month of March, work on painting the mural and then installing it April 1st through the 15th. So it would be up and on the wall by the midpoint of April. And that's it. Thank you very much. I did include a lot of portraits on this, but just to give you an idea of what portraits could look like, we could add more portraiture to the mural. Okay.
Okay. Kristen, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
When would you be able to come down and do the listening sessions? Or would you be coming personally?
I think March would be the best time, the beginning of March. Me or Michael or both, or one could come, one could do Zoom. We're both pretty flexible for our schedules.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after the listening sessions, there would be kind of a rewrite where necessary, right? And then
yes,
and then a second rendering.
Yeah, and then the final design would go again for approval. So before we begin painting, there would be one more opportunity for people to look at it and decide if that would be done by the panel.
Okay. Questions?
No. She knows what she's in for. She answered everything.
Okay, we appreciate your time this morning, and we will be deliberating tomorrow, and we'll be letting people know immediately where we're going from there, because we know we're on a short timeline and we want to give people as much time as possible. So thank you both for your time this afternoon.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
Okay, if everybody would, any kind of written input, we would be glad to have. Candace, where would you like that to be?
As you're leaving, if you just want to place it on the table to the right of the board, that would be perfect.
Appreciate everybody coming this afternoon. As you can see, it's going to be a difficult decision for us. We have 4 high-quality candidates, and we will meet tomorrow at 1. We shouldn't have any conversation before then. And Candace, you'd like our written input as well.
Yes, I understand it's hard to listen and write, maybe you want to sit on some things, so if you can get them to me by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, that would be perfect. That would give you time for the next meeting.
Or we can give it to you this afternoon if we're ready. Okay. All right, we will adjourn for now, and we'll meet tomorrow morning at 1 o'clock in the building across the street, conference room there. Okay. Thank you very much, folks.
When we meet tomorrow, will we have our notes accessible?
Yes, I'll